welcome to my channel. My name is Andrea and today I'm sharing a really fun Cricut tutorial where I'm going to be making this cute tumbler perfect for summer, and I'm also going to be sharing all of my tips for layering multiple colors in one design. So let's get started. To start off with, I uploaded this image of a lemon slice into Cricut Design Space. And I actually want the rind and the center part to be different colors, which wasn't an option with this particular image. So I scrolled down to the manual section, clicked on erase, and made my eraser size as large as possible. And now I'm just erasing the outer ring of this lemon slice. I find zooming in a lot really helps with this process because then you can see everything and make sure you're getting all of the parts erased that you want gone. Now I'm saving this as a cut image. I'm repeating this exact same process with half of a lemon slice, just erasing the outer edge of it and leaving the center part, and then saving this as a cut image. Now to start building my orange slices for my tumbler, I inserted all of these wedges, and now I'm adding a circle from the shapes section of Design Space. And this is going to be the background of my orange slice. I'm changing it to the color orange. Then I duplicated the circle and I'm changing that color as well. I initially made it yellow, but I will be changing it to white. And I'm making this circle slightly smaller than the first circle, but larger than all of the wedges. I'm arranging all of the pieces on top of each other and then changing the center color to a lighter orangey yellow. And then I'm selecting all three elements and grouping them together. To get an idea of how big I want my font to be and how many orange slices I want to create, I'm inserting a template for my tumbler that I found online. I'm writing out the words Summer Vibes onto my tumbler, and I'm actually using the font Summer Vibes from dafont.com. And I'm adjusting the size and then just centering it in the middle here. The exact placement of everything is not going to matter too much. Again, this is just a guide. I'm now inserting this half slice of orange or lemon or whatever you want it to be into the design. And for the rind, I'm going into the shapes section and choosing the semicircle, then adjusting the size of this to fit with my wedges. Just like I did before with the circular orange piece, I'm creating two different background images with the semicircles for this piece. One is a dark orange and then one is a white piece. And both of these are going behind the yellowy orange wedges. This part takes a bit of playing around with the sizing and the rotating, getting it all to be how you want it to look. Then once I have that all done, I'm selecting all three elements and grouping them together. And now that I have these two basic orange slice pieces, I can duplicate them and make them bigger and smaller and just keep duplicating to fill up the whole tumbler template. Along with the orange slices, I also want to include a couple of whole oranges onto my design. Now, I don't want all of these elements that are on here. So going over on the side of Design Space here, I'm selecting all of the small dark orange circles and deleting those. And I'm also deleting the little lines at the base of the leaf and the small thin light green line on the leaf. So all I'm left with is the orange circle and the leaf shape. Again, I'm duplicating this image and moving it all around and making it different sizes. And to get some of the oranges facing the other way, I clicked on flip, then flip horizontally. Now that I have all of my oranges and the font all filled up on this template, I'm hiding the tumbler template from this design, then clicking on Make It. As you can see, all of the colors were separated onto different mats with the white and orange and light orange and all of that. Doing it this way means you will have to individually place each element onto the cup yourself, but it also wastes the least amount of vinyl, so it's really personal preference. But what I'm doing here is moving all of my shapes slightly further apart to make it easier to cut them out. It's also personal preference with that, but I just find it makes it a little bit easier to work with once they're all cut out. Now that I have everything arranged how I like it, I'm clicking on Premium Vinyl for my material, then cutting out all the shapes. I'm using my Cricut Explore Air 2, but of course you could use any of the Cricut machines for this. I'm starting with my Summer Vibes text, just pulling off the parts of the vinyl that I don't want. And as you can see, when I pulled off the Vibes section, it took the S and the dot of the I along with it, but don't worry, we can fix that. I'm using my weeder tool to poke out the S, then just manually placing it on there with my hands. Now, getting the dot of the I back on there is a little trickier, but totally possible, just to make sure you don't lose the little dot. Now I'm peeling off a piece of transfer tape. I usually use the Duck brand of clear contact paper for this, but I've also used the Cricut transfer paper, Dollar Tree transfer paper, whatever you have, you can make it work. This is the clear tumbler that I'm using. I got this one at Michael's. Now I'm sticking my text onto the tumbler. And I'm using my Cricut scraper tool to really get that on there, then peeling off the transfer tape. Moving on to all of the orange slices. I'm cutting out one of them first here, peeling away the excess, so I'm just left with a big orange circle. And the next layer is the white circle. I'm placing a piece of transfer tape onto the white circle, then peeling that away. And here comes the trick I learned for layering different colors of vinyl. I'm taking a piece of parchment paper and laying it over top of the first layer, leaving a tiny bit at the top open with no parchment paper. Then I'm taking the next layer, which is the white circle, and placing it over top of the orange circle, with the majority being on the parchment paper, and only the very slight top bit sticking to the base layer. This allows you to move around the second layer and get it right in place where you want it to be without it sticking too much to the second layer and then ruining everything. Take the scraper tool and press it down at the top where the parchment paper is not covering the first layer. Then peel up that second layer and pull away the parchment paper. Then press back down the second layer and smooth it into place. Now I'm peeling off the transfer tape from the top of the design. This part is a little bit tricky because sometimes the transfer tape is a little bit too sticky. I rarely think of it, but you can stick it to your pants or something a few times just to de-stick it a bit. For the third layer, we're repeating the exact same process, placing a piece of transfer tape on top of the layer, then pulling it away so it's stuck to that clear, sticky section. I'm placing the same piece of parchment paper over top of my design, moving it down a bit so the top part will be where the very top of my orange wedges are going to stick to. Then I'm placing that third layer over top of the parchment paper and trying to arrange it in place as best as I can. You can really see with this section here how much I'm able to move it around, pull it up. If it's not quite right, I can so easily adjust it. And it's not till I think I have it perfectly lined up that I press down on the top part of the design, then lift up most of the yellow layer and pull away the parchment paper. Now we just have to pull away the backing, and this orange slice is ready to be stuck onto the tumbler. For this next part, I'm just showing you again the layering technique for the half orange slice this time. And this part is sped up a little bit because it's the exact same process as the whole orange slice. I just love how easy this technique is. There are so many ways you can layer different colors, so many different techniques out there. So just find whatever works for you. But for this particular design, I found that this method worked really well. So give it a try and let me know how you make out. To show you a slightly different example of using multiple colors, for this orange piece, I just have the orange circle and the leaf. Now for this particular SVG that I was using, it did have a little cutout for the leaf to go, so I'm not technically layering on top, I'm just fitting the leaf into the little section that it belongs to. For that reason, I'm not using the parchment paper technique because I just didn't think it was necessary. I'm lining it up as best as I can in its little section there, and then the orange is ready to go. And now it's time just to stick all of the designs onto my tumbler cup. I'm not only using the scraper tool to press it onto the cup initially, but I'm also using it once I peel away the transfer tape just to make sure it's really stuck on there, and to also to get out any potential little air bubbles that got in there. Here is the finished tumbler. How cute is this? You could totally also do watermelon slices, lemons, whatever your heart desires. I just love how this turned out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Please leave me a comment below and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time.